What does it take to be a member of the Expendables? You have to be a survivor. And I'm not talking bullets and bombs. I'm talking Hollywood. Back for the Expendables 2, I made a video detailing how each member had earned his spot on Stallone's ragtag team. So with the Expendables 3, I'm upping my game to make a separate video spotlighting each new member. Today, Mel Gibson. Now these days, many of you might feel Gibson would be more at home on a team with Charlie Sheen and Shia LaBeouf. But truth is, Gibson's career reached heights that would give Sheen and LaBeouf nosebleeds. And by the time this video is done, you'll see just how far Gibson has fallen and why he set his hopes on Stallone redeeming him. Like current action star Chris Hemsworth, Gibson grew up in Australia, and it was there in 1979 that he became a global sensation with Mad Max, sort of the down-under version of Snake Plissken meets Deckard, characters who, interestingly, all debuted at around the same time. Hollywood took notice and started him out in some dramatic roles with The River and Mrs. Soulful. But after 3 Mad Max movies, he landed the role that would become his most well-known, that of Martin Riggs in Lethal Weapon. The relatively cheap buddy cop movie was a phenomenal box office success, and Gibson was so good in the role that they not only ended up making 3 more movies in the franchise, but if the passage of time wasn't an issue, this is the guy who should have played Wolverine. Sorry, Hugh Jackman fans, but go rent Lethal Weapon. However, while his contemporaries, Stallone, Schwarzenegger, and Willis, were content to bask in the glow of their golden box office muscles, Gibson wanted more. He still made movies like Air America and Bird on a Wire, but he also starred in Hamlet and The Man Without a Face, that last one his directorial debut. But Gibson wasn't just some hack actor with an inflated ego scratching an itch, as he soon proved with Braveheart in 1995. While today some of you take issue with his historical accuracy, at the time of its release, Braveheart was a resounding success. Not just at the global box office, but also it won several Oscars, including Best Picture and Best Director. And while Braveheart wasn't the first film to be lauded despite its lack of historical accuracy, perhaps it was a sign of things to come for a man who we'd learn actually did have his own version of history. But that's skipping ahead. Before he imploded, Gibson continued to enjoy tremendous success. Behind the camera, his The Passion of the Christ was a global phenomenon, while Apocalypto did respectable box office business overseas. And Gibson was still a movie star with Ransom, What Women Want, and Signs. Now, while doing press for Signs in 2002, like many stars, Gibson said it was time for him to give up being a movie star and shift to mostly behind the camera. But it turns out he would not have a choice in the matter. In July 2006, Gibson was pulled over for a DUI and proceeded to make anti-Semitic and misogynistic remarks to the arresting police officers and back at the station. News of the incident spread like wildfire thanks to factors that were new to Gibson's career, the internet and TMZ. And quite simply, Gibson has never been able to recover. That's because while moviegoers are sympathetic to self-destructive behavior, when you start to lash out or hurt others, they become less forgiving. But in his defense, it should be noted that many of his Hollywood friends have stuck by him. Jodie Foster brought him as her date to the 2013 Golden Globes, where he supported her during what was largely believed to be her coming-out speech. And when Robert Downey Jr. was honored at the 25th American Cinematique Awards in 2011, he chose Gibson to present him with the award, where Downey Jr. then used his own stage time to not only praise his frequent co-star, who'd helped him through his own problems with substance abuse, but to ask that Gibson be allowed to return to the community without shame. Robert Rodriguez heard him, casting Gibson as the villain in Machete Kills. And now Stallone is giving Gibson a shot in The Expendables 3, where he'll also play the villain. How ironic that the group Gibson wanted nothing to do with in the 90s is the one to embrace him now. So do you think Mel Gibson is worthy of a spot on The Expendables? Be sure to share your thoughts down below and check out the rest of Beyond the Trailers Expendables 3 Spotlights.